Right, next up we have key derby dates. Shamrock Rovers versus Bohemians. This will of course return as it does most seasons, but does have an interesting caveat in that this is going to be the last ever season that Bows will play Rovers in Old Dalymount Park, with the last ever home derby for Bohemians taking place on the 25th of May. You might ask, why is it so early in the year, European fixtures? Now, funnily enough, the last ever game being played in Old Dalymount Park will take place on the 23rd of October 2026, and it will be a meeting between long-standing rivals Bohemians and Shelbourne, which of course is the North Dublin derby. It's also the oldest derby and closest derby in the entire country. These two used to be playing each other in the old Irish League back in the early 1900s, so it's only ever fitting that the last ever home game for Bows in Old Dalymount is gonna be this, fairly historic rivalry. And finally, on Dublin derbies, because there is so many of them and people outside of Dublin just get sick of them eventually, another feisty meeting is between Shelbourne and St Patrick's Athletic. A lot of history between these two clubs, and their first meeting will take place on the 6th of March in Tolka Park. The Louth Derby makes its return after a one-year hiatus due to the relegation last season of Dundalk FC. It returns on the 20th of February, of course, Dundalk facing Drogheda United. Arguably the most feisty rivalry in the entire country, by the way, and especially in recent years. A lot of history between these clubs, a lot of hatred between these clubs. And although the Dublin Derby is, the kind of premier derby in the league, some may argue this is the best. Now, the first Connacht Derby between Galway United and Sligo Rovers takes place on February 27th, and the first Northwest Derby, I'm really stretching the definition of this one, because this is usually played between Derry City and Finn Harps. So put a fairly big asterisk on this one, but technically Sligo Rovers do also count as being part of the Northwest, and they will face Derry City on April 6th. For the first fixture at least. Videos on all of these derbies can be found on my channel if you want to explore them in a bit more detail.